Hi everybody, good morning. It's Miss Kristin. I'm not reading story time today, but we thought we'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a few book talks about, I have 6 wordless picture books. So these books are beautifully illustrated, but they are a little hard to do in story time because you really want to be able to study these books and look at the pictures closely, which we can't do even when we're in person, let alone on a video. So I will start with this first one. This is called Journey, and it was written by Aaron Becker and illustrated, illustrated by Aaron Becker in 2013. So I just want to show you a few of the images, and the general story to this one is, without giving anything away, the main character is a little girl right here, and she is sitting by herself, and then you turn the page and you see she's in a room by herself, and she's trying to get her mom and her dad to pay attention to her, and they're not. So she starts to draw. So on each of these pages you start to see red that she is drawing, and this is where her journey begins, and she is drawing in her imagination adventures that she can go on. So I hope you take some time and look at this book. Maybe you can check it out, Journey by Aaron Becker, to see what kind of adventures she takes. It sort of reminds me of Harold and the Purple Crayon, if you're familiar with that book. Next we have The Fisherman and the Whale, written by Jessica Lannon. And this was published in 2019. And I think this is really beautifully illustrated. It is a story about a dad who's a fisherman and his son, and you can see here on the opening scene, they're getting ready, going out to fish on their boat. And what they encounter is a whale that is caught up in a fishing net. So they want to try to help. And I won't tell you the story because I want you to look at it and figure it out on your own what happens. But this is one of my favorite pages of the book. Miss Ali is going to help me and zoom in on this. But looking at the dad's eye, and you can see if you look closely the reflection of the whale, and then over here you have the whale's eye and what the whale is seeing. I just think it's so moving and emotional, and you realize that this whale is thinking about what he's going through, and he's scared and everything. So check this one out. This is fabulous. Definitely one of my favorites in the last few years. Our next book is called Starfish Where Are You by Barroux, B-A-R-R-O-U-X. He's French, and let's see, this is from 2016. So this is sort of similar in that it takes place underwater, just like The Fisherman and the Whale did, but you can see this one has a lot more, we have a whale, and then you move more undersea, and you have a lot of bright colors, and it's a little bit more fun and playful, and you see all these fish. So this is one of my favorite pages here. But this book is about the whale and all these fish that live undersea, and they start to notice pollution. Bottles on the floor of the ocean and things, and they're getting upset and they're curious, but they don't want to, they're not sure what to do. So again, you have to look at this to find out what happens. But this is a great book. This is great for younger kids, and good to start talking about the importance of pollution and littering and keeping our world clean, so it's healthy for everybody. Okay, so again, good for younger kids. Right. Our next one is called The Farmer and the Monkey by Marla Frazee. And let's see on my notes here. This is a new one. This is from last year, 2020. And this is about a man here, you can see, and a little monkey that's traveling behind him. It sort of reminds me a little bit of Curious George. He's sneaking up behind him, and what happens is the man lives by himself, and the monkey is sort of a surprise visitor. And I like this page here because you can see when we look closer, we'll zoom in on it. The man's in his house and the monkey kind of starts popping up here and there. And in this last page, or this last illustration here, the man sees the monkey. So again, you need to look at this one and find out about the story. But he comes to visit, and I think the man's gonna enjoy his visit. This last one is called The Wanderer, and it is by Peter van den End. So this one is very different from the other ones we've seen. It's all black and white illustrations. So just look at this. This is stunning. We'll zoom in on it. It is a map, and it is all tiny, tiny little page drawings. This is a longer book, longer than a typical picture book, and this would be really for probably elementary school kids. It's a little bit older just because it's very detailed and it's longer. So the story of this is two creatures. They're not quite human. They make a paper boat and they set it off to sail, and they are fantastical illustrations. They're fantastic, but also fantastical. They're not all realistic. Here are birds flying over the ocean, and the book follows the course of this paper boat traveling across the world. It meets all sorts of sea creatures, people-ish type things, buildings, but you just really need to look closely at these illustrations because they're stunning. And I just always think how much time and effort was put in to create even just one of these pages. They're really, really beautiful. I like this one at their lighthouses, a buoy in the water and a lighthouse, and here's the little paper boat and what the boat encounters and who it meets along the way. Okay, so again, this is an older one for older kids, elementary school. Our last book is called Migrants by Issa Watanabe. And this one's a little bit heavier, okay? So this would be for elementary school kids. It is a darker book, as you can see. I'll just turn a few pages. And the title is Immigrants. And it marks the journey of what immigrants face when they're traveling to wherever they're going. This is a physical journey where groups of people are walking, and you see here it's just somber, but these immigrants are portrayed as animals. But as you look in closer, death is always with them. So this is sort of a walking symbol of death here, and that an immigrant's journey is hard, and it's not happy, and it's not light and positive, and you really don't know what's going to happen for anybody that's traveling. So they're in a group, and there are ups and downs. So this one is sad, but it's really beautifully illustrated and very different from the others that we talked about. So I will stop there, but thank you so much for listening and watching, and I hope you'll try to check out some of our wordless picture books because they are beautiful to sit and study and look at, and they do tell amazing stories, even if they're not with words. Okay, so thank you, and we'll put a link with all of the titles and illustrators' names, so if you're interested in any of these, you can easily find them and put holds on them. Okay, thanks everybody, bye.